Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. I'm graciously blessed one, and I don't normally like to discuss current events on this channel, but there's a lot of things that are going on that, as I look upon them, I see a replica of the same situation that happened with Jesus. And let me just show you what I mean. If we go to Mark in the Bible, Mark chapter 15, verse 7 through 15, we will see that there was a story about Jesus and this other person. And at this time, they didn't like Jesus and they were asking to crucify him. So verse 7 says, "And there was one named Barabbas, which lay bound with them that had made insurrection with him, who had committed murder in the insurrection. And the multitude, crying aloud, began to desire him to do as he had ever done unto them. But Pilate answered them, saying, Will ye that I release unto you the King of Jews? For he knew that the chief priests had delivered him for envy. But the chief priests moved the people that he should rather release Barabbas unto them. And Pilate answered and said again unto them, What will ye then that I shall do unto him whom ye call the King of the Jews? And they cried out loud again, Crucify him. Then Pilate said unto them, Why? What evil have he done? And they cried out the more exceedingly, Crucify him. And so Pilate, willing to content the people, released Barabbas unto them and delivered Jesus, when he had scourged him, to be crucified. Now, in this chapter, I look at the state of America, what's going on in politics, specifically with our four running presidential election candidates. We have currently President Biden and we have former President Trump. And as I'm looking at the story, I'm looking at the person Barabbas, and it kind of resembles former President Trump, because Barabbas was laid bound with them that had made insurrection with him. Barabbas was the one that went around starting insurrection, committing murder in the insurrection, and we all know what happened on January 6th, right? Don't need to say anything further with that. But then we had Jesus on the other side, and Pilate this was a governor back then. He was asking the people, who do you want me to release? Because Jesus was in captivity at this time. So you want me to release Jesus, or you want me to release Barabbas? And the Jews and the chief priests and just about everyone, they didn't want Jesus. And the governor said, but why? What did he do so wrong? What evil has he done? And they couldn't answer him one word. They just wanted the insurrectionists, Barabbas. That's all they focused on. They didn't want the innocent one. They wanted the Barabbas, the murderer, who is the convicted felon. So I say, history has a way of repeating itself. This is very, very interesting, because this is kind of lining up to what's going on right now in the state of America. So there's another section in the Bible, in Matthew 27, starting at the 11th verse. And it speaks basically about the same thing, about Barabbas and Jesus. And the 11th verse says, and Jesus stood before the governor, who was Pilate, and the governor asked him, saying, thou the king of the Jews? He was speaking to Jesus. And Jesus said unto him, thou sayest. I mean, that's what you're saying. So that's what I am. If you say it, that's what I am. And when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, he answered nothing. So this is Jesus. He was accused and ridiculed from the chief priests and elders, but yet he said nothing. Then said Pilate unto him, hearest thou not how many things they witness against thee? Do you know what they're saying? Don't you hear all these things that they're saying about you, that they're talking against you? But then Jesus said, and he answered him to never a word. He still didn't say anything back to Pilate. Insomuch that the governor, who was Pilate, marveled greatly. He found it very strange that he's not disputing, he's not fighting, he's not arguing. Jesus is doing none of that. He's just holding his peace. So verse 15 says, now at that feast, the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner, whom they would. He was willing to release at this feast a prisoner. And they had then a notable prisoner called Barabbas. Very notable. He was well known. Do that sound like somebody that we know? Question. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate, the governor now, the head honcho, said unto them, whom will ye that I release unto you? Which one do you want me to release unto you? Because they were both captive. You want me to release Barabbas or Jesus, which is called Christ? For he knew that for envy they had delivered him. Because of jealousy, they had delivered Jesus unto him. 19 says, when he was set down on the judgment seat, talking about Pilate, the governor, his wife said unto him, sent unto him, saying, have thou nothing to do with that just man? Why? For I have suffered many things this day, to this very day, in a dream because of him. That means that it was revealed to his wife, Pilate's wife, about Jesus. how righteous and just he was and did no wrong. Verse 20 says, but the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Jesus. Give me Barabbas. Get rid of Jesus, but give me Barabbas. And it's going on right now. Give me former Donald Trump. Get rid of Joe Biden, President Joe Biden. Give me former Donald Trump. No matter what disturbance he has done, no matter what kind of fraud he was involved in, no matter what kind of conviction, no matter what insurrection, no matter what the crime is, give me former Trump. Do away with Jesus. Do away with Biden. Do away a righteous man. That's all about right. That's all about for the rights of the people, the rights of America. That can identify on every hand, every American family he can identify with. President Biden, I was looking in history, and his former wife, he knows what it feels like to lose a loved one in a tragic way. He lost his former wife and his daughter, firstborn daughter, in a car accident. He knows what it's like to be a single parent, because for a long time he had to raise his two sons by himself before he got married again to First Lady Jill Biden. He knows what it is to the struggle to make ends meet. He knows all the aspects of American families. Former Donald Trump, on the other hand, all he knows is revenge. And he says that right out of his mouth. That's all he knows. He doesn't care anything about America. Not one. Only to benefit himself in those lines, but to benefit the American people and the average American family, no. So getting back to the story in the Bible, because the state of the America, it's biblical. It's biblical straight on. In verse 21, the governor answered and said unto them, whether of the twain, which one of the two will ye that I release unto you? Which one of the two you want me to release unto you? You want me to, which one? They said, Barabbas, right away. Pilate saith unto them, what shall I do then with Jesus, which is called Christ? And they all said unto Pilate, let him be crucified. And the governor, Pilate, said, why? What evil had he done? But they wasn't paying attention to that. They cried out the more, saying, let him be crucified. We don't want to hear about how he's going to fight for our freedom and to keep our rights, fight for our rights as Americans and our freedom as Americans. We don't want to hear all of that, how he's going to create jobs and lower taxes. We don't want to hear nothing about that. We just want the other man, Barabbas. We want the convicted felon. We want the insurrectionist. We want the... So when Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, that he couldn't even do anything about it, it was like out of his hands, but that rather a turmoil was made. It was a whole big fuss like what's going on now with the Republicans and the GOP and the Capitol and the Senate and the House of Representatives and the Congress and all this big to-do. He took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See ye to it that this is you. I don't have nothing further to do with this, because this man is just. This man doesn't deserve to be crucified, but you want to have a murderer instead. You don't want a right person, a righteous hearted person. You want a wicked person instead. Then I don't have nothing to do with this matter. So I'm not saying that President Biden is Jesus Christ, because nobody can be Jesus Christ. Nobody. But we can be like him. We can have the character of him. And President Joe Biden, in my opinion, if I put him against former President Trump, President Biden has the character of Christ, because Jesus Christ is all about freedom. He's all about us having the right to choose, because in the word of God it said, Jesus said, whosoever will, let him come. Choose ye this day who you shall serve. So Jesus always gives us a right to choose. He gives us freedom, liberty. And he's all about right. He's all about the people. He's all about compassion. Whereas Barabbas, not so. So I felt led to talk about this situation, because this is a very very serious year that we should really pay attention to, and I mean really be serious about it, especially with the upcoming election. I'm not here to tell you who to vote for, but I'm here to let you know that let common sense be common sense. We all want to survive. We don't want to be in a situation where we are found in bondage. We don't want to be in a situation where we have no rights at all. All our freedom and rights are taken away from. This is America, which they say is the land of the free, right? Home of the brave. And it's a great country, and we want to keep it a great country. So this year, please go out and vote, especially Gen Zs. Gen Zs, ages 18, 25, 26. That is your right, your God-given right to vote, free of charge. Doesn't cost you a dime for your voice to be heard. Your future depends upon it. This is your future at stake, most of all. It's our future as a whole, yes, but Gen Z, it's your future. Young people, it's your future at stake. We don't want to be like Pilate, the governor in the Bible. We don't want to compromise. We don't want to be a person that know what's true and right, but for the sake of position and status and personal gain, we choose the wrong instead of the right. We don't want to be that, but we want to continue to be upright citizens. And the Bible says in Isaiah chapter 55, verse 6 through 8, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. And let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. Come on, let's do it God's way. We can never go wrong doing things God's way. And I believe for this election, God will have the final say. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you really enjoyed this content. This channel is all about keeping it real. It's where the deal is real. Thanks for watching. Until next time.